rain on your Sunday.
Millions of people are getting ready to celebrate World Pride this weekend in Manhattan. Well, you may recognize one of the faces in the crowd. Not only is he a performer, actor, and executive producer, Alan Cumming is also a known activist honored for his support of LGBTQ rights and equality. Alan, thank you so much for being here today. It's a pleasure to see you in person. You've always been so busy on the big screen, on Broadway, and now as an activist as well. Let's first talk about how significant this Pride is specifically with the 50th anniversary of Stonewall Inn.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
Well, it's actually kind of amazing. I've been going to these events where people who were there 50 years ago are talking. And that's an incredible thing to remember. Like, within our lifetime, this, you know, it's like people suddenly, it was like a revolution happened. But at the same time, I think we've got to remember that there's a long way to go. And, you know, we're living in a time when many of the things that these people were fighting for that you see in these pictures, we're still fighting for them nowadays, and a lot of those rights that we got are under threat. So for me, it's a mixed thing. I feel like it's kind of galvanizing me to sort of, like, you know, be realistic and to fight on. Well,
how has it been in your career? What have you seen as far as progress when it comes to LGBTQ progress there?
Well, it's been massive over the years. You know, it's interesting coming from Europe, you know, where I think we're a bit more ahead of the curve in terms of most progressive things, actually, but especially in LGBT representation in films and TV. But then coming to America, and then, you know, the show that I'm in now, it's crazy to me that this is the first ever network drama on American TV that has a gay leading character. It seems crazy. It's great that it's finally happened, but also it just seems like if that's only happening now, just imagine how underrepresented we must have been in the past. So there's a long way to go still, but it's all itching up positively.
What other things would you like to see? And also, being an executive producer of that show, Instinct, that you just mentioned, how does that make you feel to know that you're a part of something that will be remembered in history?
Well, it's pretty great, you know, and also I feel a responsibility to make sure that and I think the show has done this, make sure that the way that part of the story is told. Like, I have a husband in the show, and we're adopting a baby, and I think it's handled really well because it's not the main thrust of the narrative. And I think for too long, if there's an LGBT person in a show, it's always about their gayness. It's always about some negative aspect of their sexuality. And I like this, that it's just, and also he's gay. And I think that's the way to go.
It's a footnote. It just is something else to describe the person that is you.
Yeah, because you don't always say, you know, straight person, blah, blah, but you usually always say gay person, blah, blah. That's what we go about.
Yes. Let's talk about, too, you mentioned that there is still a long way to go. Oh, yeah, I saw you perk up at that scene. You're like, oh, man, something happened there.
Lady in a bra. Who knew? That was a gay show.
But as you think about the progress that you still want to see made, what are some of the things at the forefront of your mind that you hope that will happen sooner rather than later?
Well, what I'm heartened by is that when you don't make something a big deal, when you desensationalize something, because most sort of, you know, people are prejudiced or bigoted because they are unfamiliar with something and sort of scared of it. So the more that you don't make it into a scary thing and just present it like, oh, here's this person, he happens to be gay, and like, oh, they're just like us. And, you know, I found that with Instinct, that I've gone around the country and I see in airports little ladies going, I hope you and Andy get to adopt your baby, like stuff like that. It's so crazy. And I think there's been no negative. I've not experienced any negative backlash about this being such a sort of, you know, a turning point in TV history. So I think the important thing is to go out and show yourself and represent people, but not to draw attention to it just for itself. And I think that's actually the way forward. Don't make something a sensation, and it won't be.
So we've been talking about the parade that's going to be going on this weekend, and how there's like 40 more floats than normal and hundreds more participants, and they've had to change the parade route to accommodate everyone.
It's a very emotional time, it really is, because it's this dual thing of, you know, celebration and memorial at the same time, and also there's a dark cloud over us right now. You know, trans people are having their rights taken away by this administration, like, blatantly, and I'm not confident that gay people won't be next in terms of the, you know, stripping of rights, maybe not being able to be in the army again. There's so much at stake and in danger. So I think it's a thing of, yes, always celebrating how far we've come, but really, really sort of digging digging our heels in and saying we don't have true equality yet at all.
And before I let you go, I want to ask you one more question. What makes you proud?
What makes me proud is when I meet someone and they tell me that something I've done just as me, not as an actor or anything, has inspired them, has made them, given them confidence, or have made them feel good about being themselves. That makes me very proud.
And of course, you can watch Instinct on CBS. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
You're a pleasure.